Let me talk to the 30-year-olds. If you're in your 30s and you're trying to make it happen in the music game, you're in your 30s though, and you're trying to make it happen, and you feel like you're not moving in this music thing. You're trying to make your living in this music career, and it's not working. You're in your 30s. Um, you can still make this happen. It's not too late to build it. Maybe you tricked off in your 30s. I mean, I'm sorry, you tricked off in your 20s and your teens, and you was doing stuff and doing all the stuff that you weren't supposed to do, and you weren't responsible, whatever. Now you're 30. Something, especially for men, something in the brain turns on at 30. I don't know what it is chemically that happens. Maybe that's the reason why Jesus was 30 when he started his ministry. But something happens in the brain of a man at 30 that just, it's like we just wake up, we become sentient for real and realize like, oh snap, 30. I don't know what it is about 30, but it does something to a man's mind that pushes us to really kind of get about our business. So if you're in your 30s and you're ready to get about your business now, it's not too late to start building. But because you're not in your 20s and you don't have the benefit of the energy of 20-year-olds, your determination and your will needs to be a little bit harder than the 20 somethings. You know what I'm saying? You got to go a little bit harder because by this point you develop habits, you got a lot of foundational issues and baggage and relationship. You got a lot of stuff that's probably coming with you or that you got going on in your 30s or whatever. Things your mama told you, you know what I'm saying? Things your daddy told you, or if he or didn't tell you because he wasn't even there, you know what I'm saying? Things your pastor told you that's stuck in your head, you know what I'm saying? So not only do you have to build in your 30s, but you have to rebuild. You have to rebuild who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because anything that you've done up to this point hasn't worked anyway. What you've been doing since you were in your 20s isn't working. So you need to tear that down and rebuild. You know what I'm saying? You need to rebuild something else, rebuild something better, rebuild a better foundation for where you are. You know what I'm saying? So 20s, you got to build. If you're in your 30s and you're still trying to make it work, you got to rebuild because that means whatever you built isn't working. You know what I mean? But the same rules apply. You know what I'm saying? Same rules apply. You need to build your network. You need to build your circle. You know what I'm saying? You need to build influence, build an audience. Don't just shit on chords and all of those things. Figure out marketing, figure out audience, figure out all of these things. Start building your circle if you haven't already. Audit your circle. Maybe the circle you have isn't a good circle. Maybe you need to prune the circle, cut the circle, you know what I'm saying? And put some more people in the circle that need to be in there. You know what I'm saying? That's maybe what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? So you still have time to build. It's just going to be harder and it's going to take more effort, but you can't shrink from it. You know what I'm saying? So the main difference is you can't build slowly, like I said for the 20-year-olds. Say if you're 20, you need to build you need to build slowly. Take your time, build the foundation right. But if you're in your 30s, you got to build faster because you're in your 30s. You know what I'm saying? Um, and what it's going to take to build faster is to sacrifice. It's the one thing that nobody wants to do. Is sacrifice. It's where all of us fall. So you're in your 30s, and if it's not working, you're trying to build something on top of a bad foundation. So you gotta tear all that stuff down. You might need to, and let's be specific about like what to tear down. Maybe it's relationships. Maybe even if it's your finances, because it takes a lot of money to do business. You know what I'm saying? Full time. You need money to fund that business and fund your own life. So you got to cut stuff. You got to cut stuff down to the bare minimum. Like you might need to get rid of the car that you got, that $700 car note that you got. You might need to sell that car and get something just an A and B to get you where you need to go. Nobody cares about what you drive. I drive a 2010 F-150 that is paid for because I learned to live way beneath my means. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I don't care what you think about what I drive. It's paid for. Do I want something nice? Absolutely. I love to have a Bentley or a Rivian. I've been looking at that for a minute. I'd love to have those type things. But you know what I do? I don't care what you think because that truck runs really good and it's paid for, which means the only thing I got to do is keep the tags, title, registration, and the insurance on it. There ain't nobody calling me, asking me for $700 a month for that truck. Nobody is. It's paid for. So you have to sacrifice. And I learned how to sacrifice. I don't have AT&T. My phone, this iPhone, it's on Cricket. I pay $200 a month for 8 phone lines in this house. Unlimited data, talk, text. It runs on AT&T towers. Phone is paid for too. No jump program. Everything I budget. I live way beneath my means. My phone works. I just went to Europe. My phone worked over there. No problem with my phone. You can get a Cricket plan if you're just a regular person, family, like a husband and a wife, $90 a month. Unlimited talk, text, and data. Why are you spending $400, $350, $250 a month on cell phones? Why are you doing that? It's dumb. You need that money to live. You need that money to fund your business where you're trying to go. So again, when I got in my 30s and I wanted to scale to my next level of business that I needed to do, when I knew that it was time to move, I knew the move required another level of sacrifice, another level of business, another level of whatever. Each level requires a new level of sacrifice that I had to give. You know what I'm saying? Um, and so I had to like just cut stuff. And now it moved from being a thought process to a way of life. Now in my 40s, even though I got plenty of like money and plenty of all of that, I still live like in my mind, I'm still, I don't got no money in my mind here. I think that way. I keep myself in that place. Not saying that I have a poverty mentality. It's not that. No, I don't let my mind rise above this point to this ceiling to think that I made it. You know what I'm saying? And I just need to like kick back and now I lax up and I just start spending money all willy nilly. No, 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 no. I still have that same mentality that I had when I was in my 30s. So you have to think of your life in decades and not in days at its core, at its end. You got to think deeper than where you are. So if you're in your 30s and you're still trying to make this thing happen, you need to do the things that I'm talking about. You need to tear down all of the bad stuff, the stuff that's not served you well up to this point, the people that haven't served you well, the financial decisions that haven't served you well, the cars, the anything that's not serving you well, you need to tear it down, get it out of your life, and rebuild a better foundation. Once you do that, then you'll see the success that you're looking for. And not only that, you'll develop a better foundation to live on. And that's all I did. When I started tearing all that stuff down, people, relationships, um, bad theology, come on, bad theology. When I started tearing all that stuff down, that pastors with terrible theology was trying to teach me, when I tore all of that stuff down, took off. rebuild a better foundation, scale from there. So if you're in 30s, it's time to rebuild. Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy, John Mike. If you've been rocking with my content and you want to go beyond what YouTube allows, what social media allows, that's exactly why I created my Patreon. Over there, I break down the real side of music tech, business, how this industry actually works, the creative side. I'm talking exclusive podcasts with your favorite creators. And there's 3 ways that you can join. There's a support tier that starts at just $5 a month. That's for people who just want to support my work and get early access to the content that I create. The Creator Plus tier goes deeper into the tools, the workflows, the plugins, everything that I use to create and scale out my content. And then there's the Business Plus tier. This is where we talk strategy, monetization, ownership, all of the things that I do to make money, how I scaled a 7-figure company, how you can do it too, asking questions, all of the crazy things that you want to know about how to build a sustainable, real career in music. So if you're really ready to take this to the next level and grow your creative business this year, then please join me over there at Patreon. The link is down below. I'll talk to you guys over there. Let's get it.